It's today's God Call with Reverend Bill.
Vanilla, or chocolate, or strawberry, or butter pecan, or chocolate chip cookie dough, or rum raisin, or maybe something else is your favorite flavor. You are at choice. You get to decide. You get to set the intention for the good that you're bringing into your life, open up to it, and allow the infinite to serve up something fabulous. Maybe with some sprinkles and a cherry on top.
Michael, wonderful to have you here. This meeting is being live streamed, or so I'm told. Good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are here doing the hybrid thing from Falzer one more time. Hello to the folks who are joining us on Zoom out there from around the world. It turns out, curiously, that our guest speaker today, Dr. Jerry Troyer, has the Distance Award, as opposed to Robin, who's in Nova Scotia, because he came in from San Diego just a few short hours ago. So anyway, he's going to be joining us and doing the talk in a little bit. You guys on Zoom know the rules. You guys in the room know the rules as well. Keep yourselves polite or muted, except when you're sharing. Let's all do a little sharing together right now. So unmute if you're on Zoom, and if you're in the room, nice and loud, repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
Of good surrounding me.
I open myself to the good
surrounding
Love
me.
is right here, right now.
And love is right now.
Right here, right now.
So it is.
There you go.
And so
And
it
one
is.
more time, as I remind you, the New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you here today, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you. Welcome home. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. The way we say it around here, and you can repeat out loud if you remember it, your new life begins with a new thought. If you have an electronic device that you are not using to participate in the meeting, you can go ahead and set it to shush for the next hour and 15 minutes or so that you don't get distracted, and if you're in the room, so that I don't get distracted. You know, it's all about me, right? I'm Bill Marcioni, the spiritual director at New Thought Philadelphia. Our music today is by a first-time musician, Michael London. Michael's actually been a musician for a while. It's our first time with us. We've got a couple of practitioners who are going to be working with us today. Breen Rourke, RSCP, is going to lead our meditation. And right now, Jesus Baez, RSCP, is going to open us with a practical prayer.
Thank you, Rev. Thank you. Hello, everybody here in Zoom. Blessings. Let's settle in. Take a deep breath. Let it go. And know that we are that tree planted by the rivers of water that gives fruit in the season. And our leaves shall not wither. And whatever we say and touch shall prosper. Prosper with love and joy and peace, which is right now here. Love is saturating this place. We lift our eyes up to the hills, from where comes our help. Our help comes from the Lord that created the heavens and the earth. He had created this moment for us, for we could bring our gifts to the altar of love and share it with each other. With each other that comes here in the Zoom celebration, right here in person, it's all one. It's that one expressing himself through each one of us. Is God incarnated in each one of us, in our hearts, in our soul, in our mind. We love that Lord, our Creator, with all our heart, with all our strength. This moment is blessed with the music, with the talk, with the meditation, with the prayers, with the practical prayer, and those prayers that come in manifestation, because all our prayers, all our thoughts take some kind of form. Is God, the formless, coming in form, the timeless coming in time. We cannot weigh it. We cannot see it. We cannot handle it. We cannot taste it. We cannot touch it. But we could feel it. we feel that presence here and now. And I know with no doubt in my mind that God is creating this moment. For we could say hallelujah, for we could say glory, for we could say, my God, my Lord, in whom I'm a trust. I'm a trust in you, God. So with thanksgiving in my heart, I let this prayer go. I let it go to the Lord of God that I would say yes. And once again to say yes, so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Jesus. Prayer. Why do we pray? Anybody know? Because it works. Yay, prayer works. And now the time we like to open up the community to hear about how prayer is working in your life. Hear the stories, and we call it, get this, Prayer Works Stories. So how is prayer working in your life today? Anybody in the room, you can raise your hand, you come up here. Anybody on Zoom, you can wave, you can do whatever you want to do. We hear about how prayer is working in your life.
I want to hear about
The kitchen, that's a prayer work story. So many, I don't even, one of my prayers was to let go of control and mistrust, and the fear of being taken advantage of, which is a lot of stuff that comes from my childhood and how I was raised and thoughts around money. So we contracted someone to remodel our kitchen, our downstairs, and it's done. We paid the last payment. Now we're putting it all back together. Jane gave us a little tour earlier. It looks much better live than it did on her camera, and it's just beautiful. We're super, super happy with it. It's really a lesson in trust and letting go and being open to the process unfolding, because things were happening in the middle. I'm like, why are they doing that? But it all worked out at the end, which is, that's prayer in action for sure. Anybody? William and Joe.
So often, I sit here on Sundays or home on Sundays, and prayer work story. And, you know, as Bree was talking about letting go and trusting and just jumping into the moment or just allowing the moment, allowing Spirit to take over, that's my prayer work story. I've been able to do that. And sometimes I'm better at it than others, and sometimes I'm not, but I can see the progress. So it's not that I had anything specific, you know, to announce today or tag as a prayer work story, but just the fact that, yeah, that stuff works. It has affected my life. It's made it better since I've been involved with New Thought Philly. So that's my prayer work story.
Yeah, and I'll go share. You guys know I love doing prayers for weather from time to time. And so it's been gorgeous weather here for the last, I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks. And yesterday was a lot of outdoor activities. So there was the East Falls Farmers Market where New Thought Philadelphia had a vendor table for the first time ever. And I also was doing an outdoor wedding in a backyard out in Media, Pennsylvania. And the forecast was calling for rain. And it's like, oh, well, this will not do. So my prayer after the rehearsal, because the bride was a little concerned, was that nothing important got rained on. And while it was important. And I'll start at the end with the wedding. It's my second favorite way for that to work out. My first favorite way is for it just to be a spectacularly gorgeous sunny day all the way through. My second favorite way is that the rainstorm came through before the ceremony in time for everybody to dry the chairs off before anybody had to sit down in them. And then, of course, just as a little ta-da, right as I got to, I pronounce you husband and wife, the sun came out. Just for a second. And at the farmer's market, it was cloudy and cool and nice and wonderful. And the prayer work stories continued unfolding because we went there saying, well, let's just meet the people who are coming into the neighborhood where we are on our hybrid Sundays. And Breen brought a bunch of the books that have been in the book table library for a while. And a woman came by and she was interested in what we were doing and what we were talking about and learning more. And we talked a little bit about what would be a good book for her to start with. We had Edwin Gaines, and we had How to Change Your Life, so some relatively easy books. She bought the Science of Mind textbook. She's on a spiritual journey. So I gave her my card and I said, when you say, what the hell is this about? Please give me a call. That's my prayer work story.
And we had a beautiful rainbow yesterday. Did
Yeah.
y'all see it?
There were two.
Yes. Jane's waving. Jane, your prayer work story?
I do. So, this morning I went early to a nursing home to visit a patient. And I found out yesterday during my visit that I could bring a dog. So I thought immediately of our dog Coco, the little Shih Tzu. And they said, yeah, it's no problem as long as you just have like a piece of, for vaccination records. Found them, I brought them in. I did a practical prayer this morning on the way in that everything would just go smoothly. I didn't want to get hassled with bringing the dog in. We arrive, I get Coco out of the car, we go up to the front desk. No problems. They let us right back in. I hand them the vaccination record. We get back to see the patient. I pull up a chair, and Coco's in my lap, and she just hops onto the bed, flops down, and puts her little chin on the patient's leg. And she stayed like that the entire visit until it was time to leave, and it was so nice. That was a prayer answered.
Beautiful. So the dog that didn't go to the nursing home was our rescue dog, Jack, who is 95-ish pounds of muscle and lots of love, but he also can be very, very reactive. But this is kind of also tying back to the kitchen. We had so many people coming in and out of the house, he got a little desensitized to strangers. And now when I walk him in the neighborhood, sometimes, not every time, but sometimes, people that he used to react to, he'll just walk up and just kind of go. And they'll pet him, and he'll go, oh, okay, this is nice. I like this. So Jack's getting better. Yay, Jack. All right, so I don't have my kazoo on me, but if you are at home, you got a kazoo, and we're going to herald in Karen with the announcements.
This rousing information is on the website at newthoughtphilly.org. Sign up there for the weekly e-newsletter so we can keep in touch. Join one of our 15-minute meditations on Zoom. This happens twice every day and are inspiring, fun, and quick. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings this week are also on Insight Timer Live. The Practical Prayer Podcast is meditation. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Join in behind the scenes at the live recording sessions on Monday at 1 p.m. Save the date for our monthly series on Thursday, September 19th, entitled It's Spiritual But Not Religious, from 7 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. Reverend Bill talks about connecting with our spiritual selves in our own way without rules or church supervision. The Personal Practitioner course are a week away. Classes on Tuesday afternoons will boost your spiritual practice to the next level. Contact Reverend Bill for details. Beyond Limits is our introductory class to the New Thought Principles. The fall session is Thursday evenings beginning October 17th. It's transformational and open to all. Tune out the fear, tune in the vision. For 100 days leading up to the election, we are cultivating a special mindfulness practice to raise the vibration for all involved. To take part, text JOIN to the number on the website. Reverend Bill shares the message tomorrow. Join us for special workshop, Being at Home in Muddy Water, with our friend Dr. Jerry Troyer. It's a heart and an eye-opening workshop about our human experience, allowing ourselves to grieve, to feel our feelings, and find peace. It will be at the Falzer and on Zoom from 12:30 to 2. Suggested love offering is $20. Follow, subscribe, like our social media on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. Join the 1,901 spiritual adventurers in our group on Meetup. We are always grateful for your financial support. You can make a tax deduction donation by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit, or debit card. Thank you to the team that makes our celebrations work and has fun doing it. We get together before the celebration to put the pieces in order. To join, contact our volunteer coordinator and join the fun. Next Sunday online with No Problem. Words can be tricky, so Reverend Bill explores ways we can turn away from problems and know that all is well. Live music by Jeff Lesser. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. And after the celebration today, Jesus is available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open after the celebration for conversation. And I turn it back to Reverend Bill.
And Bill's just going to turn it back to me. So thank you.
Okay.
All right. So now's the time we'd like to greet visitors. Is anybody here for the second or third time? Because we've got a wonderful gift. It's a keychain and flashlight and a pen to let you know that you are the bright light of God's love. Ready? Ooh. We also have a blessing for our first-time visitors. I know Michael's here for the first time. Anybody on Zoom is here for can we put that on gallery? They dropped out. Anybody for the first time? We need to get that on gallery view if we can. All right. So we're going to give you a blessing. You just enjoy and receive. Everybody else, rub your hands together. You are a bright light of divine love. Thank you for sharing your light with us and welcome. Okay. Those of us in the room here, we're going to this is our greeting song. We'll walk around hugging, saying, hey, what's up? Elbow, fist bump, whatever you're into. Online, you go into gallery view, look around at all the people, and Michael's going to sing us a song. Woo-hoo.
The mind is an ocean. The mind is an ocean. So many beings are swimming there. Our destinies to share. They're in our ocean. It's all of us in the ocean. It's all of us in the ocean. It's all of us in the ocean. Spirit, wild and free. And our body is a cup. Our body is a cup floating on the brink. Soon it will fill and sink. Reach out, though you can't see. Reach out, though you can't see. It's all of us in the ocean. It's all of us in the ocean. I see you in the ocean with spirit wild and free.
Hey, flames of faith. Let's light some flames of faith. Hey, so there we are. Jane is going to lead us.
Yes.
You
Good
got your sheet
morning.
with you?
Okay.
Kathy is lighting live in person.
Yay. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the earth-based traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing. I'm sorry, I'm just losing this now. Through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Jane, that was awesome. You got universalistic and had trouble with principle. God is good all the time. The reading today, the surprise reading today is brought to us by Joe Catanzaro and comes to us from Science of Mind magazine.
What was the second thing that I saw that spoke to me? This is from Science of Mind magazine, and it is one of the daily guides from Dr. Temple Hayes from August of 2019. Walking the path of your life. United we stand, divided we're merely a distraction. Temple Hayes. Spiritual evolution should make the infinite not more distant, but more intimate. Ernest Holmes. Our journey on the circle of life is a fourfold path: sacred warrior, enlightened rebel, intentional spirit, and creative genius. It embodies the four aspects of self: spiritual, emotional, intellectual, and physical. The four seasons of our years: the 4 directions of Earth's astrology, and the 4 developmental stages of our time here on Earth: birth, youth, adult, and death. I personally walked each of these paths many times, sometimes walking more than one simultaneously. I have learned it is important to stop, savor, and embrace where you are on your unique path. When you do, the possibility for transforming yourself and creating change is even greater. It's time for us to make a significant difference in the world by helping people live the principle of respecting the right of all life to live in freedom and in peace. It is time to live our lives united as one and embracing the diversity of our world. Being a difference maker is about living daily what you treat hourly, then walking the truth, talking and modeling, not mimicking the significance of our great spiritual warriors, aligning with light and all life, participating in positive change. Come alive now. The world needs you. There is something exhilarating about waking up. Life becomes a sacred piece of poetry when we express each moment and every encounter. I am awake and look for more to be revealed.
This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Brand new awareness come as an unexpected visitor. Oh, welcome and entertain them all. Mm. Oh, welcome and entertain them all. Every day, every day, every day, la 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 la, la. Every day, a new arrival. Sweeping through your house, still honor your guests. They may be clearing you out, clearing you out for some new life. Oh, every day, every day, every day, say la 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 la, every day, undo arrival, every day. Oh, the dark thought, the shame, the malice. Come at the door. Laugh, pain, grateful for never calling. Teachers and said, as a guy from beyond, oh, let them in. Let them in. La, 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 la. Every day, right. It's a guest house. Oh, every day, on new arrival.
In case you're wondering, that sounds familiar. These are original songs that Michael London wrote, and the lyrics are based on poems by Rumi. So if you think you might have heard them before, might have heard them before. We have a guest speaker today. We have Jerry Troyer is, among other things, the president of the Affiliated New Thought Network and the auctioneer for the annual auction at the Anton Retreat, which is coming up next month in Unity Village. So I get to see him an extra time, which is nice. Usually it's just on Zoom. And one of the things that Jerry likes to donate to the auction that people bid for is that he will come into town and do the Sunday talk at the participating center and then lead a workshop. So that's what he's doing. And we outbid other folks and won him. So here he is delivering on our winnings. So Jerry Troyer is the president of the Affiliated New Thought Network. As I said, he's a minister. He is the former administrator of Anton. Come on up and describe yourself the rest of the way. Okay. Y'all welcome Jerry Troyer.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Bill, first of all, for winning me and that introduction. And good morning, everybody, or if you're watching later or in another time zone, good afternoon or good evening. So great to be with you. It is a glorious day in Philadelphia. I so enjoyed, I don't know if y'all did or not, but I so enjoyed the weather yesterday because I'm from San Diego, where it is about 103 degrees. We are getting some rather intense summer weather. And so I loved the cooler fall weather. I love the torrential rain. And then I love the two rainbows, and the sunset last night was just extraordinary. So Philly is one of my favorite places. So it is so great to be with all of you this morning and to experience the joy and the wonder and the passion of Spirit. So great to be with you. Michael, thank you so much for that song. And I'll talk more about the guest house a little later on, but thank you so much for that. So my topic for today is honoring and celebrating diversity in our experiences. When we hear the word diversity, oftentimes we think of ethnic background or sexual orientation or life experience or that sort of thing. But I'd like to think about diversity in our day-to-day experiences in our day-to-day lives. I'm so glad you're with me today because I'm going to talk about things we don't ordinarily talk about in New Thought. I love to stir the pot. I just absolutely do. So I'm so glad you're with me. In this teaching that we call religious science or New Thought, or you might come from Unity or divine science, but in this teaching, we tend to focus on the positive. We say that everything is in divine order, that everything as it should be. It's all good. Don't worry, be happy. And those statements are absolutely true, but the fact may be that our hearts are breaking. When someone makes their transition, we don't even use the D word and say die. We say they made their transition. They went on to their next experience, all those other things, even though the truth is they died. As spiritual beings having a human experience, can we allow ourselves to have the human experience and to feel what we feel? Because it is all good. It is all in divine order. It is all as it should be. But there are those changes and those heartbreaking experiences in our lives. Can we allow ourselves to feel that rather than beating ourselves up with the Science of Mind textbook? It's an interesting question. There is a Zen saying that you might have heard, "May we exist like a lotus at home in muddy water. Thus we bow to life as it is." Not as it should be, not as we want it to be, not as we wish it were, but bowing to life as it is, in our integrity and our authenticity. Because, and I bet you'll agree with me on this, life is joy and wonder and passion and lusciousness and fabulousness. And pain and heartbreak and disappointment and unexpected change? Can we allow ourselves to be with that, to be with all of that, and to experience in our humanness, experience what we're experiencing? In no way am I suggesting that we stay stuck in the mud, but one of my favorite authors and a dear friend who died several years ago, Debbie Ford, wrote, "What we can't be with won't let us be." What we can't be with won't let us be. One of my favorite books, The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown, she writes about perfectionism. Charming and sparkling, makeup always fixed, hair always perfect, always happy and joyful and blessed and all of that. And in the book, she writes, perfectionism is not the same thing as striving to be your best. Perfectionism is not about healthy achievement and growth. Perfectionism is the belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect, we can minimize or avoid the shame of the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. Let me say that again. Perfectionism is the belief that if we live, look, and act perfect, we can minimize or avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. But it's a shield. It's a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking it will protect us, when in fact it's the thing that's really preventing us from taking flight. Do we allow ourselves to grieve, to feel the hurt, to feel the anger, or do we cover it up with the platitudes that I talked about before? Do we allow ourselves to not be to not be perfect all the time? Because the truth is, I am charming and patient and loving and nurturing and wonderful. And I am also hateful and surly and cranky and impatient. And guess what? So are you. It's the guest house. It's the guest house. We are all of that. I am all of that. Can I allow myself to be all of that? I believe we are still recovering, grieving, and rebuilding after COVID and the pandemic. It's been 3 years, but yet, we remember those experiences that we didn't get to have, the weddings and the baby blessings and the celebrations and the trips of a lifetime and all of those things. We remember the people that died during that time and we weren't able to get together for a memorial service and a grieving and a time together. My mother died of COVID, and of course, I wasn't able to see her at the end because the doctor called and said, "Yeah, you can come, but we'll put you in a hazmat suit and go through all the rest of that." And I'm like, "No, I don't think so." But I believe we're still recovering and we're still grieving as a result of that. So this is a little bit of a different topic for those of us in New Thought, and I want to tell you briefly about how it came to be as a big piece of my ministry. My husband and I were together for 33 years, and he died in the airport in Houston on the way home from the Anton conference in 2018. He had been diagnosed with colorectal cancer and was doing chemotherapy, and the chemo was doing great things for the tumors, but terrible things to his physical body. So I was working as administrator for Anton at the time, really needed to go to the conference. So we went. He was very thin, very weak, in a wheelchair. We flew San Diego to Kansas City. Tuesday night of the conference, he fell in our room and wasn't able to get up. And so I said, we got to go home. So called the airline, changed the reservation on Wednesday to go home on Wednesday, flew Kansas City to Houston. and then took him to the gate, the connecting gate, and left him, went to the desk to check on our seat assignments, came back to him and found him unresponsive. Went back to the desk. They called 911. The ambulance came and transported him to Memorial Hermann Hospital. They were able to get his heart started again. So they were able to transport him, but his heart stopped on the way to the hospital and they were not able to revive him. So went through that experience of someone dying in a different state from where they live and being 1,500 miles or whatever it was from home. So got everything together, left his body in Houston, came home to San Diego the next day, came home, sat down, and started to grieve. And my ego said, no, you're a religious science minister. Everything is in divine order. Everything is as it should be. You should, one of my favorite words, you should be happy. And I have to admit that I really went through about 1.5 years of struggling with this need to allow myself to grieve versus, again, beating myself up with the Science of Mind textbook saying, no, you should be, you recognize that. And those things we tell ourselves, that they're in a better place, that he lived, he was 52. So lived a good life. We had 33 years together. You should be grateful for that, at which I was. But do we allow ourselves to feel that? So as a result of that, I created a workshop and love to talk about this, giving us permission to feel what we're feeling and to grieve whatever that loss or whatever that change was. So you've probably heard the terms spiritual bypass and toxic positivity. And those are those wonderful, loving, nurturing statements that are absolutely true, but are not what we're feeling and not what we're thinking as we allow ourselves to process through the grief and the loss. Again, what we can't be with won't let us be. Because whether we want to admit it or not and accept it or not, this life is all about change. The experience of our relationships change. I will always have a relationship with him. He was Jerry also. So if I refer to him as Jerry, please know that I'm okay. I will always have a relationship with Jerry, but he's in a different place, and it's a different kind of relationship than we had before. But this thing called life is all about change in our professional lives, in our day-to-day lives, our business lives. Remember, I was thinking, being in Philadelphia, remember US Air. Remember Wanamakers. Remember Strawbridge, dating some of us more than others of us, but remember Blockbuster Video. Remember video. All of those things, and for those of us of a certain age, remembering that that's how it was, and that's what we depended on and counted on, and that's how it was, but things and experiences and technology and all of that, this thing called life, change, and it's different now. Our physical, I don't know about you, but my physical body, thankfully it's a short list, but sometimes we get to a point where we're not able to do what we used to do, or maybe we don't want to do what we used to do, and that's okay. Our relationships change, our work life changes. I found this wonderful book titled The 5 Invitations by Frank Ostaseski. And in the book he writes, fragility and impermanence are in the nature of life. It's always just coming together and falling apart, not just in the physical properties of life and not just at the time of death. And it's possible to hold it all in love and compassion. Now, y'all in the mid-Atlantic at the Northeast know about change because I don't want to rub it in, but here in a few weeks, you know what's going to happen. The trees are going to drop their leaves and then it's going to get a little brisk outside. We have about 9 palm trees in San Diego that change color, and that's just about it as far as fall is concerned. But change is all around us. Can we allow ourselves to not only tolerate, not only accept, but embrace change, recognizing there's always something next for us. There's always something new for us. So I created this workshop about grief and loss and recently recognized that change is through all of this, and the opportunity is there for us to grieve and to feel the loss when there's a change in our lives, no matter what it was. And very often, whether it was a change we wanted or not, there's an opportunity to grieve that. We're going to talk about that this afternoon, starting at 12:30, about grief and loss and change and allowing ourselves to feel our feelings. Would love it if you would join me either in this very room or on Zoom. As you know, the Eagles did what they did Friday night to the Packers, so we don't have to help them win, so you've got your afternoon free, so you can stay with me and dive a little deeper into this. Because it came to pass. Remember in the Bible, about 480, and please know that I didn't sit and count all of them, but I found this on the internet, about 480 times the stories in the Bible started with, it came to pass. Because it did. It came to pass. Can we allow ourselves to be fully present through those life experiences, to hang at the door of the guest house that Rumi wrote about and welcome all of the emotions and all of the experiences in, and recognize that we are always loved, always nurtured, always supported through these experiences? So why does it matter? Well, do you have a junk drawer? And you don't have to raise your hand, but do you have a junk drawer at your house? I know, right? Or maybe it's a closet, or maybe it's a room, or maybe it's a storage facility. Oh, that we would have thought about that and bought land and built self-storage places. Oh my goodness. So the drawer in the kitchen that's where the switch plates are for the paint job before last, that we better keep those because you just don't know. That's where the 9 tape measures are. I have no idea how my tape measures wind up in the junk drawer, but they're all there. I think the dog maybe moves them, I'm not sure. But the hammer, the who knows what, the same thing. And when you open the drawer, because ideally it's not packed so tightly, you open the drawer and everything shifts. The same thing happens with our emotions that we don't allow ourselves to feel. So in the drawer, there's that anger, there's that grief, there's that hurt. And we open the drawer from another experience and something rises to the top. I believe that that's where road rage comes from, is not allowing ourselves to feel those human emotions that we need to feel. That's why the Ben and Jerry's that I was only going to eat half of wound up being completely gone. Now, see, that's the exception because, as you well know, Ben and Jerry's or Talenti or whoever your ice cream of choice is, it's not as good after you open it. So you really need to eat the whole thing because the leftovers they're just not as good. But the bottle of wine that you were going to only drink a glass of, or that money you were saving for your vacation, and 2 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep and you just might actually happen to have the Amazon app on your phone. I wonder if Amazon has that. Of course, Amazon has that. And we wind up spending the money at Amazon for stuff that we could have lived very happily without instead of saving that for our vacation. Unprocessed and unexpressed emotions show up in surprising and wonderful ways. And so we have the opportunity to look at that, to feel it, so we can heal it and move forward. Because you remember the saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. We're still chopping, we're still carrying. So I have to tell you, it's been an amazing experience. It's been almost 6 years for me. And I had the thoughts, because I was of a certain age when he died, and I had the thoughts that you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. It will never be the same. And it's so important for us to recognize that it will never be the same, whether it's a death, whether it's leaving a job, either by our choice or not, it will never be the same, but it can be wonderful again if we allow it to, if we allow ourselves to feel our grief and our loss so that we can be open to it and move on to the next experience that life has for us. So again, we're going to do a deeper dive into this afternoon. We'll have pens. We'll see if we can find some Kleenex boxes, because if I don't make you cry, I have not done my job, and would love it if you would stay and join me for that. And we'll be on Zoom as well as in this very room. I would like to close with a quote from Facebook, of all places, not specifically, but it was something that I saw. I love and adore Facebook. Now, I have no financial attachment to Mark Zuckerberg or Meta or Facebook or any of that, but it's just the most amazing experience because you just get the greatest wisdom, and you also have the opportunity to keep scrolling. So if it doesn't light you up, if it doesn't make your tail wag, just keep scrolling. Life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again. And in between the amazing and the awful is ordinary and mundane and routine. Breathe in the amazing, hold on through the awful, and relax and exhale during the ordinary. That's just living. Heartbreaking, soul healing, amazing, awful, ordinary life. And it's breathtakingly beautiful. Thank you all so much. Namaste.
When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you. When actions come from another place, feeling disappears. Don't let others lead you. Don't let others lead you. Because of willfulness, people sit in jail. Trapper's wings are tired. Fish sizzle in the skillet. The anger of police is willfulness. I see the invisible you could leave your selfishness, you would see how you've been torturing your soul. We are born and live in black water, in a well. How could we know what an open field of sunlight? Don't insist on going where you think you want to go. No. And when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you. A joy. That's the way to the spring. Your living pieces will form a harmony. There is a moving palace that floats in the air, with balconies and clear water. Flowing through infinity everywhere, yet contained under a single tent. This single tent. And when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you. You feel a river. A joy. A river.
Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving through you. So I've got the honor to lead us in a bit of a meditative practice. So I think we're gonna use that imagery and that idea of that river moving through us. So I invite you to get comfortable where you are. If you can, sit up straight, feet flat on the floor. You like to put your hands in your laps, palms up. Close your eyes or allow them to go to a soft focus. And just be here in this moment. I take a nice, deep, full, cleansing breath, breathing in. Hold for a moment and exhale. And allow yourself to relax. And feel that river moving through you. That spirit, God, life, divine essence of everything. It flows through each of us. We know a river will sometimes twist and turn. Sometimes there's wide, smooth, open parts. Sometimes there's rocks and white water and lots of turmoil and churn. Just like Jerry was talking about in life, there's so much there. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. But it's all right there. It's all that river flowing through us. Let's just take a moment now in the silence to just go with that flow. If you ever tried to swim against the current of a river, you know that's no fun. So we go through life going with the flow, allowing the calm water and allowing the white water as well. Just feel that river flowing through you.
In that same state of peace and joy, I'm gonna quote Rumi. He said, "Yesterday I was smart. That's why I wanted to change the world. Today I become wise. That's what I want to change myself. When I hit the road appear. Keep allowing yourself to be silently carried away by the power of what you truly love. Then your heart will touch the sky. The heart brings flexibility to it. Bring openness. Bring emotions, feelings. Because that's the seat of the emotions. All things happen in the heart. keep breaking your heart until it opens. Be flexible. Be open. Because it never be broken. It's untouchable. Nothing malign, hatefulness, resentment. Touch it. When there's flexibility, openness, and love and kindness and trust, zoom in from it. You're gonna have feelings, different emotions, but it's flexible. It's open to the presence. It's open to the oneness. It's open to love. And that's why it cannot be touched. You are complete, I ain't complete. No matter what happens, we grieve and mourn. That's part of life. Balance is always the key. It's a journey. It's never a destination or an end to grieving. It's a journey. We're gonna grieve, we're gonna mourn, we're gonna feel, we're gonna imagine. That's who we are. You are born with wings. It's not crawl through life. My tears, our hurt, our pain, what hurt us blesses us. So take another deep breath in. Let it go. Bring your attention back to the celebration as Michael London sing this next song for us.
We've lost our way, we can feel it today. The world's upside down, but we can find our way back home, find our way back home. It's not something we can buy, we can't get there with a lie. And rage does not know how to find our way back home, find our way back home. We use anxiety for practice. It tells us when things might be wrong. Identity tries to protect us, but it keeps us from seeing that we all belong. When we hear each other's voice, we make a better choice. The path becomes clear, then we can find our way back home, find our way back home. Oh, we can find our way back home, find our way back home. ways we are seen. Home is the earth that we sow. Respect can take root in that garden. With kindness and truth, together we grow. The soul looks towards a road to the heart, a melody true, a song to find our way back home, to find our way back home. And we can find our way back home, find our way back home. Oh, we can find our way back home, find our way back home. Oh, we can find our way back home, find our way back home.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jesus and Breen and Dr. Jerry. It's wonderful inspirations. Lots of stuff to think about. Some stuff to dive into a little later on as well. This is the time where if something's come up for you that you want to give voice to, go ahead and wave your hand and take a moment and share whatever's coming up with you. If not, that's okay too. Okay. What's coming up for me is I need to read Rumi some more. Sometimes forget. Deep breath. Allow yourself to be present. Karen Judd, would you lead us? What? There's a hand up? Whose hand is up? Dave's hand is up. Go ahead, Dave.
I can't drop in and not say something. Greetings, all. And I got the double voice going on here. Okay, anyway, Jerry, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. You hit right at home hard. Grieving my father's loss. Sorry that I can't be there today. Unfortunately, my back's not cooperating well enough for the drive to Balzer, but it's great to see everybody. And I was just so touched by so much that you said, especially the part about it's never going to be the same again, nor is it supposed to. It is how we grow. I will never be the same person that I was that started this celebration today. I will never be the same person that said goodbye to my father. And thank God for that. Because if it weren't for these events in our lives, we would all just be infantile for the rest of our lives and never grow into the understanding of who and what this is, as painful as it can be, into the awareness of the greatness that lies within. Again, peace and blessings, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Others? No? Not missing a cue? Good. Karen Judd, would you lead us in our offering?
Absolutely. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gifts you share help fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen. We'll say it all together. I
and
live an
live in an
abundant
abundant
universe.
universe.
I am
I
one
am
with the
one with
infinite
the
source
infinite
of all
source of
good.
all good.
I am a
I am
center
a
of
center
conscious
of conscious
prosperity.
prosperity.
I
I
enjoy the
enjoy
richness
the
of
richness
life.
of life.
I bless
I
my
bless
gift.
my gift.
I share
I
my
share
gift
my
with
gift with
gratitude and
gratitude
joy.
and joy.
I know
I
that as
know
I
that
give,
all give,
I
I
do
do receive.
receive, and so it
And
is.
so it is.
Amen.
I want to thank you for having me today and this time together. It's been really beautiful. The first 3 songs that I did were adapted from Rumi poems translated by Coleman Barks. So it's important to know that it's not just Rumi. Somebody had to write down Rumi from the 13th century. Somebody had to save it for hundreds of years, and then it had to be translated before we could share it, and I could make it into a song and share it with you. Also, then the 4th song, River Moving In You, was translated by Kabir Helminski, who's also a wonderful translator. And then the last song I played is a brand new song that I just wrote. Actually, this is the first time I'm playing it, so find your way back home. This last song is by one of my very favorites, Marvin Gaye. It's called Mercy, Mercy Me. I think it's important to sing it now in this election time when feelings run so high, for us to remember to both acknowledge what we need to make better in our country and also that we love our country. Mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Oh, where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east and west. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Oil wasted on the ocean and upon our seas, fish full of mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Radiation underground and in the sky. Animals and birds who live nearby are dying. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, beautiful, full spacious sky, for amber waves of green, purple mountains, majesty, above the fruited plain. Oh, America, America, God shed his light grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet,
passion stress, a thoroughfare of freedom beat across the wilderness. Oh, America, America, God meant thine every flaw and confirm thy soul with gun control, thy liberty in law. Oh, oh, oh. Mercy, mercy me. Mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? How much more abuse from man can she stand? Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, beautiful.
Michael. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody. Ah, a wonderful opportunity to be that bright light of divine love. Let's close with another joyful cacophony. So if you're on Zoom, go ahead and unmute. And if you're in the room, go ahead and stand up where you are and repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
Light.
Light.
I am change. I let my light shine.
I let my light shine.
Let flow.
I let
my
love
flow.
And
flow.
so it is.
And
And
so
so
it
it
is. Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to be back here in this very Zoom room and making a circle here for the workshop in, at this point, 32 minutes, because we do things on time for Zoom. Thank you so much for the folks who are joining us online. Thank you to everybody who's been here. Yeah, waving it high. And we've got some sandwiches on the way in and some snacks for here, not for you guys at home. Sorry, you're going to have to go fend for yourselves. And if you're not signed up for the workshop, you can come anyway. It's the same Zoom meeting link that we use for everything else. And see you in a half an hour. Thank you. Woohoo!
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Robin. Interesting. This thing switched itself back to gallery view. I don't get anything down except for the iPad and leave the projector. Yeah, leave the projector. I'll break everything else down. Yeah, actually, no, it's sort of like the same sort of. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Michael. Yeah, great music. Thank you so much. Thanks for slipping the guest house. Yeah.